Well, hello again. I don't know why. I just haven't gotten around to playing as much as I would normally. Well, I do know why. I've said it before. I can be a bit of a slacker because I don't really fight to be in the top. Occasionally, if I end up in the top, it just happened. I mostly, as a I just like to be over 6K. I just like to be up in up far enough that I'm not at the bottom of matches. Now that may sound kind of funny, but the thing about it is the matchmaker is a pretty critical thing to keep an eye on. It's antisocial, and I don't mean that to be funny. I mean to be perfectly honest. It's antisocial, right? There's an awful lot of games out there where if you go into the game and you go into the game with a higher level player, that player can effectively help you. Some people call it carrying, other people call it helping. I think it's helping in most cases. Obviously, there's times when it's carrying, but you have that ability, right? Or they offer some way for the upper level person to effectively tier down, right? Another example is like World of Rafts, right? If you're running a tier 4 boat, you're gonna fight tier 4 people, some tier 3, some tier 5, but it's gonna the tier of the equipment you're using is gonna matter. As we well know, this really doesn't seem to matter a whole heck of a lot. If at the beginning of a season I say to myself, oh, I'm at 5K, and I'm just not going to put up much of a fight when I see another Tath, or if I see some ultimate items or something, I'll drop down. I'll drop down into Masters and stuff. It doesn't care. The system doesn't care that the fact that I've got, what do I have right now? Oh yeah, because I moved one of these over. I have one that's not MK3. And I just leveled these up, so not MK3. But basically, it's looking at a hanger like this, and it says, he could be expert. He could be master. Sure, what the heck, why not? Maybe you spend a lot of money, he just doesn't have the skills. This is how the matchmaker thinks, or doesn't think. Better off, right? It should have tiers of some kind, but it doesn't. Instead, all it does is say, hey, how many cups do you have? So if you're trying to get up, if you're trying to move up the ranks, if that's something you actually want to do, then you need to be very, very mindful of who you're squatting with, right? You need to make sure that you are the highest cupped player in the squad. It's going to make the matches better for you as an individual. And that's the unfortunate reality to this game, is that while technically it is a team game, how you get ahead is very individualistic. Very, very individualistic. You're better off with the matchmaker 2-mans, not doing 3-mans, 4-mans, 5-mans, unless you can get a larger squad. It just doesn't work out real well in a huge number of the cases, and that's simply because the broader the range of the people that is trying to match, the worse the match gets. So 2 people very similar in style, very similar in rank, they're going to get very good matches for the most part. I just missed that guy. Oh, he's trying to come after me now. Alright. Uh-oh, we got a sword. Go this way. There we go, 2 swords again. They love it when you make those kind of runs. They adore you for it. It's all potluck, right? Ah! like I had any control over who was back there when I did that. None. Just happens. But what I was saying about the matchmaker, though, it's very, very true, right? Two-man it. You want to have the best matches out there. You want to have the best chance of getting points. Two-man it. And I hate to say it, two-man it with somebody that is slightly lower than you, right? Two-man it with somebody who's not going to outperform you. And then you're going to end up with the best matches. You're going to end up with the best ability to get ahead as an individual, right? If you can get into good squads, large squads, more power to you, but it's very difficult to do for the most part, you know, consistently. And the problem with it is then you become dependent upon those squads, because if you go out there and you go solo or otherwise, it's a real struggle. It's a real struggle because now your ranking's up there, but you've been ranked up based upon squad activity, not individual activity. So I do have the tendency to believe that smaller is better. This was kind of a walkthrough on these poor people. I'm going to assume that it was a number of lower level players. I could be wrong, but... Well, if they had swords and they had tests, that doesn't mean anything anymore, does it? It's just not really. Not really. Oh. So that's the part that kind of sucks, right? If I want to group with Billy, Billy suffers. If I want to group with Queenie, Queenie's going to suffer. And it's not that these are bad players, and it's not that their equipment's bad. It's that the matchmaker is going to say, "Hey, I'm gonna match against the highest level person in there," and that just doesn't lead to pretty things in most cases, just in my experience. But it's something very important. This goes back to why I like to be above 6K, because that guarantees that the matchmaker essentially never screws me. Holy cow! Still clicking through these. Okay. The matchmaker never screws me essentially, because once you're over 6K, if you're even with somebody rated 10K or 7K, it's all the same after that. And I mean, I guess I could argue that there's micro tiers at 7K and 8K, but it's not really much of anything. If you really get down to it and you look at Champion League, when you get up into the higher ranks, I wonder if you can see it now with me. I should be in what? See, look at this. Look how many Champion Leagues there are, right? And look how high it goes, 2060.09. And so 76.97 is the top of mine. So I'm relatively close to the top of my bracket, as it were, 76.97. But I haven't played very much in the last week at all. Only a handful of matches. And look at this. Look at this. 71K. Come on. 269. Now, bear in mind, these are long-termers, right? This goes back to what I was saying before about legendary cups. But look, 20K, 20K, 19K. And what's the bottom of the top? That gives you an idea. Bottom of the top is 12K. So the top of my league is 7,600. So between my league and that one, there's going to be another league in there that's 76.98 to, usually these go around 100 players, whatever that equates to, right? 100 players. So whatever 100 players points wise, and it starts to, it's not linear. There's definitely a curve to it. This is what I was saying before, though. This right here, these are your legendary cups. They never go away. They constantly build up, and you can see with the people in the Legend League, the people who have spent enormous amounts of time, 419k Legendary Cups. This person has spent a lot of time completing seasons as champion, right? 42, this guy has just joined the ranks and is burning hard, 15k, but he has only been in Champions League probably okay, here's it's, you get one Legendary Cup for every point over 5,000 at the end of the season. So if this guy is banging out 15k right now and he's got 4k here, he might have literally only been a champion one season before, maybe two if you got, you know, low champion, mid champion, and now he's banging. But he's been a champion no more than this season and two others. He is just cranking it, you know. Here's another one. This guy here, Grizzly, cranking hard. He was only a champion one season before. You know, this is the thing that I think is probably one of the part that got me watching Billy Butcher's stream the most. Is you watch a lot of these streams that are out there, and it's just some guy talking to a crowd while he's beating up on people casually with his mega hanger, right? That's pretty much the most of it. Or it's a group of people in a squad, usually their buddies or their clanmates, that always squad together and kind of talk together and stuff. And that's kind of the majority of the streams out there. There's some better ones out there like Tony's and Berserkers and Tanks and Billy's, to be fair, because rather than talking exclusively or mostly to a group that's sitting with them in voice comms and Discord, or just kind of random chatting but not really doing anything, all of these guys group with the people that they talk with. All of these guys talk more directly to the people in the stream than they do to people who are sitting in Discord with them. And for me, that makes it just that much more enjoyable to watch, those ones. And I'm just rambling. Ramble. What I need to do, though, is I got to try to work my way up a little bit here. I got to try to burn a little bit of time. I still don't get how this happened. I had it at 100 for a while. How did I get 100? I think that something with the new season screwed up, because there's no way. There's just no way. I don't normally. I mean, I will, because I'm a soloer for the most part with some squatting. I will bump up into the low 80s. Maybe 86%, I think, is maybe my best ever I've seen. But 100% like I had that? Nah, that had to happen from the patching, you know. And I think I lost a single match, and I dropped 10% on it or something like that. So I'm pretty certain that there is something funky with that. That's not who I am. That territory is usually reserved for two people. People who either squad a lot and are in good squads, or cheaters. I hate to say it, that's just my impression of that, you know. So I expect to see somebody like Burrs hit there because he squads a lot and has a real strong backing from his team. And then I kind of expect, you know, you're cheaters. Doing that thing again. God, I hate it when it does this, right? Okay, here we go. We're back to business. Shame that, bud. Shame that. Ah, gotta keep an eye on those sword guys. They try to get tricky. Yep. I have bad intentions. How long can you stay hidden? Not long enough. Alright. Now this is the case like what I was kind of talking about the last time, where I'm basically looking at this as like the grind. I need to try to get myself just a little bit more. Uh-oh. Well, that's not really social. I want to be friends. Nope. Sorry, bud. That was a no-go. Uh-oh. He just really wants to, like, hurt me, doesn't he? He does. Did you see him come after me there? Oh, he's doing this again. He's gonna come down and try to get me. Let's see, what do I want to get? Let's go with some Griffin. You know, I do take a certain amount of humor in wasting people's time sometimes. You know, it doesn't seem like they're making the best choices to me sometimes. So I don't mind. I don't mind. Nope, I guess I didn't get to do anything else. Could have done better, could have done worse. You know, again, I like to be in the top, but as long as I win, then it doesn't really matter where I place because it's not negative points. Wow, that is just crazy sometimes how fast these things go. When you can come out of the top like that with only a couple million damage, right? It's like, how fast can they go? See, now if you look at what the matchmaker does when you're not squatted, right? You say, oh, 4476, you know, 4500 is going to be a marker, so he might be on a challenge. 4883, you know, 4750 is one, so he's not technically. That's just two. 5500, no challenge going on there. Hey, 10K, big dog, big dog. I've been there. Yeah. Okay. Plays a lot. He plays a lot. Let's see. Ooh, 63,000 cups. He's been sitting in champions for a while. Now, I don't place quite as much on unlocked titles. Well, I guess it can mean something, but they have all of these junk ones out there, right? So it's like, hood. Right? So if I look at the titles, that's not where to go. If I look at the titles, where are the titles? Here we go. There were ones that I had well before I was a champion. I had Commander, I had Titan Slayer, I had Conqueror. I had Champion before I was a champion. This doesn't have anything to do with being a champion. And the other one, leader, right? This is about being on the leaderboard. So it's about spending money and stuff like that. So I had leader. Not before I was champion. I didn't have that. I'm just not that friendly. And I had gunslinger, right? So I had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 titles. 6 titles before I was champion. And then after that, you know what? This is just dumb. Gourmet, little vegetable thing. Like I want that. These ones are just now they're just pumping them out. Mecha Pilot, Solark. I don't even know how this one get different colors on these ones, because these ones here, they're just these event ones. So I don't know, you get a super number of points and you automatically get the gold or something. You know, I don't know. I consider those kind of worthless. If it comes down to it, the only ones that I pay attention to, like I said before, are Living Legend, because in order to get this, you've got to be in the top 3,000 players. You've got to be over 6K. You got to be at some point. You've got to be in the top 3,000, and you have to get over 6K. So now, if it's white, it means it's not fresh. It means you got it in the past. Might have only done it one time. Who knows? If it's gold, it's fresh. It means you got it in the last season. And that's the way it is with any of these. That's why you don't see. Where is it? This one gold. I haven't had a bot to do, because I didn't bother. I'm not doing the Strix, so I don't really care about that one. I don't have anything else to MK3 right now. That's a bot. So that one sits. But those are actually, if I look at it and I go, oh, who are the guys that gosh, wrong place. Who are the guys that I worry about? If I go out there and I see a title, Living Legend, Ultimate, not so much actually, you know, because the meta is very, very competitive with Ultimate, if not still dominant. So not that one. It's actually the one that I don't have gold yet, which is Ex Machina. Because this year, if somebody's got this gold, they've got fresh MK3 gear. And if they've got it gold, that means they've got 25 just within the last season, weapons and robots upgraded. So 2 big ones for me, Ex Machina and Living Legend. And I don't like to show anything. I suppose some people might recognize me out there, but I don't think most people do. I don't recognize most people out there until after the fight, for the most part. Oh, but what was I saying about Billy earlier? It's his hanger reviews at the end. That's what I really liked about it, right? I liked hearing what he had to say. Reading the tea leaves, as it were. Doesn't mean I always agree with how he read the tea leaves, but I enjoy it. And so, I always like it when he starts doing that. It's one of the best parts. Oh, another Teth. Is that Hood? Did I just run into that guy in the last match? Could be, could be, could be. I'm gonna just go for a beacon up here. Nobody's up here for some reason, so I'm just gonna go this way. See if they just kind of ignored this over here for some reason. Although I just saw some of my guys drop, so maybe they're off killing my guys. I got hooked up on that. See, there's one too where I hit the teleport and then nothing seemed to really happen, right? Don't know what was up with that. No, I was going to say, what got me? Not much does that kind of damage, and of course it's that thing. Oh. I haven't really played with this one yet. I just got this one built, and he's not maxed. So we'll see what this guy does. Right? That is an amazing amount of damage. So just try to take this beacon nice and quiet like. Alright. Yeah, you know, and I don't have as much to say this time because this is really just more of a grind for me. I'm trying to get through some battles. And I don't normally do that. How many people do I have on me? Holy cow. This guy right here. Let's get some of this cleaned up. Alright. And the one I keep waiting for, and it doesn't seem to be every day, which kind of annoys me, is the open data one. Because I've got 11, you got 15 days left. You need 20 to pick up these 2 cards. But they don't, there's no task being generated. That's annoying. Methinks it's because what they want to do, because I don't trust picks. Go figure. What they want to do is they want to force you to buy whatever these stars are. Right? That's my guess. This is just kind of to burn. I have no point in doing anything there at all. Have I made progress? 76.62. I have made progress. So let's hit it again. Maybe I'll get a little bit of more of a matchup. It seemed like I got the same people the last 2 times. Diet Dew, my lifeblood. You know how they say President Trump goes through like a 6-pack or more of Diet Coke a day. He's got like a button for a Diet Coke on his desk. That's how I am with Diet Dew. I don't drink coffee or that, so that's kind of my replacement for that. And so I do go through probably an unhealthy amount of it. But so far, you know, my teeth haven't fallen out. So we're good. We're good. Alrighty, what do we got going on here? Now, see, the one thing you'll notice, like in the last match, is, you know, maulers. Maulers are still very, very tough, very, very dominant titans that are out there. There we go. You know, I saw Jizzle was wondering, he had a thing between him and Nickel as to whether or not letting this get charged up was better, or whether or not going into it and just fighting it out was better. Nickel seems to feel that just fighting it out is better. Jizzle was under the impression that it would be better off to let the charge build up. I think we all know how I feel on that. I'm a big let the charge build up kind of guy. Was he trying to hurt me? I think he was trying to hurt me. I think he had bad intentions. Alright, fixed. And I absolutely think that the power is in the splash. And I think when they get rid of the higher level of healing from the UC, so it's not what it is right now. I honestly expect that it's going to be even more critical to come and to go, because you're not going to be able to. Oh wow! I ended up high. You should end up in altitudes like that. But you're not going to be able to just brawl it out the same way. So you're gonna have to play it different, and in that regard, yeah, you're gonna have to be a little bit more. That was not a smart thing to do. I don't know why you did that. Approaching the ring of death is bad. Just as a helpful general hint. I've seen a few people do that before. Approach it, land in it, and it's like, no. That you know, I appreciate the assistance, but it's unnecessary. Another very fast one. I guess it kind of is what it is, what it is, what it is, right? Let's do another one. If I figure that if I take first, I get what? On average, 12 points. And so I was at 60. I'm just thinking of my cups, and I'm not thinking of the big number, but just the last two digits, 60. So, you know, I need like, 5 wins to move up a notch to get. I don't even know what's my next one. 7,700? 76 maybe? Not really certain. It's not. It's not going to change anything for me. And as it is right now, if you watch, you can tell that the unstable conduit doesn't have the same kick it did. So in that last patch, they definitely did something. Definitely. Let's see here. This is good though. I have to work a lot harder now. Why did I feel like I saw that guy in the last match? How come this guy's shield never fades? Right? That's weird. Never fades. That's not possible. I've fought these guys before. Alright, come on, come on, come on. There we go. Alright. Why aren't my guys going for beacons? What are they doing? There we go. That worked out. That's what I was hoping for. There we go. Okay. Oh, that was nice though. That's a nice tight one. Good tight match. I like it. You know, when you get tight matches like that, then it's oof. Okay. 20 kills. Well, we know how I feel about that. That doesn't make me feel good. That makes me concerned that it was a grotesque mismatch. But it's not showing to be. Everybody, I'm looking like the only one that was out of place, and they had a couple 5Ks, and we had another 5K down here, barely 5K. So we had one barely 5K and me, and they had 49.83. He's in challenge, 5K, 5K. And they had 3 5Ks. So I guess you could say that was, you know, as far as the matchmaker is concerned, relatively balanced, I guess. I don't know. You know what I forgot to look at there was the honor points. And the only reason I was thinking of that is because I was watching somebody else, and I can't think of his name. He's got a smaller channel. Very good player. Seems to like to run, I think he runs 3 swords, something like that. Anyways, he looks at the honor points. And I remember Burrs looked at honor points too, but I don't really look at the honor points so much because people will drop in the last couple of seconds their Titan to increase their honor points. So honor points, I think that if you're just playing and they just happen the way they happen, they're going to be meaningful. But I think in general, I would try to figure out how many points a Titan drop gets you and remove them from them to see what it actually looks like. Just because of how many people I know will... Wow, that's a fast match. Barely had a chance to sip my soda. Alright, let's see what we got. And you can see where this build is, you know, it's weak. It can't take everything. There's things that I actively... Oh, they got 3 coming that way. That's a bit much. And they got a sword going in. Let's do this. Let's just apply a little bit of pressure on them by... Uh-oh, this might be a bad idea in the end. That right there is probably the toughest I've ever seen one of these little HE things. For the most part, those things are not really very durable. So that was actually pretty weird. What do we got? What do we got? Alright. Oh! What do we got here? Get out of there, bud. You know, the fun thing about when you change your bots up that you're going to use, like adding this in and swapping out the Griffin for some of what I would be doing, is, you know, you get a little bit of a change of play, which is always nice. My team does not seem to be able to hold the line. It is what it is. See, and there's what I talk about sometimes when I say people just get too focused. Look at them. All of them just spending their time on those guys there, and they are not going for beacons. They're not really defending anything. They're just lost in the battle. They're just up there focused on those two guys. Nothing else is happening. It's like that beacon is the only beacon in their world. Yeah, it's tough when your team is just stuck in the corner. Oh, well, they're all gone now. It's over. It's over. There it goes. And here's the other thing I'll say. If you're ever the last man standing, and you are not the one with the highest damage or the highest beacons, what were you doing? What were you doing? Because you weren't applying any pressure. I see that a lot. You know, the times when I'll mech out sometimes and I'll see one or two guys, and then we'll get to the end and they're not doing top damage. And it's like, what were you guys doing? You just sit back there hiding, you know? I have no idea. These 56, 49, 8,000? What were they doing? What was he doing? I just don't even begin to understand. You know, how do you only have 1 million damage when you have over 6K? You know? I don't even, like this guy here, you got 5,600 and you couldn't muster a kill? Ah, living legend, living legend, living legend. All of them fresh. But he's fresh, and look what he did. He did squat. It's so relative. That rating requires so much context to have any real meaning, you know. This is the other thing too. If you're in a squad and you've got a really mixed squad, this is one of the things that sometimes got me frustrated with tank, and why I pretty much I'm not squatting. I don't squad with tank anymore. Was because he squads with anybody, which is fine. When you lose, if you've got somebody who's down at expert or diamond, and they pulled like, you know, 100,000 points max or something, if your team loses, even if you're number one, you can get hit with negative points, right? I have seen up to -7 points off of those losses because they spread it out evenly. So if you get people that are grotesquely underperforming for the matchup, right, you will suffer for it. No way around it. And by suffering, I just mean you're going to lose points. And so, again, you have to decide, what is the point of what you're doing? Because, you know, you're not going to help them. That's the thing. It's the biggest thing so many people don't realize is that you're not going to help anybody. You have to be a little bit solo-minded in terms of how you pick your squads. And, you know, and a lot of people, they don't like these weapons because they're really not good toe-to-toe kind of weapons. But it's about the play style, right? The goal with this build is not to sit and toe-to-toe anybody. The goal with this build is to constantly try to keep moving. If you're not spun up, move. Move until you are spun up. And then make your move.
Living legend. Living legend.
And you'll notice one thing I do a lot. I inherently seek to break line of sight at almost every occasion. Whenever I move forward, whatever the case may be, I preemptively try to put myself into a position where I can't be attacked until I'm ready to try to do something, right? Get myself all spun up again here. Oh, bad you trying to sneak off and you gonna try to stay inside my ring. It was a good idea, bud. It really was a good idea. It's just very hard to do. Right? See, so I do this constantly. Break the line of sight, get out of hide. You can call it hiding, you can call it whatever the heck you want to call it. But that's how this playstyle goes. This is a high movement playstyle. You want to keep moving, you want to keep these things spun up. It's just how it is. And the second you're not doing that, you're gonna die relatively soon afterwards. Seems like these guys have been just kind of hanging out over here for a while, huh? Oh, I see why. I had a UE Griffin over here kicking everybody's butt. Go. See, there's one thing that's a little bit of an issue with that guy is he's not taking much damage. And I have one of those, and I have fought many of those. it comes to actually taking damage, they're not that tough. What makes them tough is that constant blindness. But they're not really very tough when it comes to taking damage. So when I run into one that seems unnaturally tough, it's weird. Like that. Why is he able to take so much damage? It takes multiple people to take him down. That's not how tough those things normally are. Normally they're very fragile. To a certain extent, it's just the fact that they got that constant blind. That non-stop blinding that makes a difference. Is this all that's left now? I guess. Alright. Let's do this guy here. Just because it's got good movement on it. It can cover a lot of ground fast.
Titan Slayer.
You know, I'll be pretty honest about this. So I have had quite a few people from Lay that I thought were cheaters. So I'm not saying this guy is, but they always seem to do more damage and take less damage. And you know, the thing about it is, you know, I'm not God's gift to anything. I make no claims about any of that kind of stuff as far as my skills go. I'm very wary of making claims. But the one thing I do know is how much damage an MK3 Ultimate Griffin with an AOPO drone and a fully maxed pilot with the only thing being damage that for whatever reason. Oh, I swapped my weapons out. That's right, I forgot about that. What do we got? Star Sniper? Oh yeah. Anytime you have something that can have an increased shot grouping, that is a must-have skill. Even for example, like on this one here, as soon as I saw that shot grouping for Havoc, I grabbed it because that does more than the damage increase that you get on the same tab. So if you go into the weapons tab, you'll get more damage, much more damage, by going with the increased shot grouping than by doing that. And I'll have to get some memoriam because I seem to be a little low. This is not a big deal here for the most part, though. Yeah. What do we... What do we have? Have anything that looks worthwhile? So many of these just don't really. Mid speed, no. For right now, I'll do that, and now when the time comes and I get some more memoriam, we'll give it another bump. And the reason why I switched this away from the shotguns is because these weapons, they're much easier to keep on target when you're hopping around. It really just comes down to that. Where are we at after all those battles? Well, not that many, I guess. Oh, I crossed over. 77-13. 88%. There you go. See, now this is looking more like what I would expect my win rate to be at this point, with What did I get? I got another loss in there. It still seems high to me. I don't know. Something got screwy. Had to have gotten screwy. No way around it, because I just I don't have the ability to get 100% win rate. I just don't. Not as a solo player, and I don't squad enough like some people to really be able to do that. You know, the people that squad a ton, because really on the backside underneath, if you'll notice, it always goes up in even numbers. You have to have essentially 50 wins in a row. And as soon as you get a loss in there anywhere, you know, it's essentially from the point of your loss to get that 50 wins again, starting over. Ah! What a horrible miss. Caused me to overshoot and everything. Ah! Oh well. I'm such a noob! That was a pretty bold move to come running in like that. You know, the thing I like though is these fights have all been pretty tough fights, and I appreciate that. I legitimately do. That guy's gonna be a bit of a pain, isn't he? Yeah, he is. There we go. The one thing about the leeches is they're soft. So if you do get on them, they go down pretty darn quick. That's kind of the nice thing about them, I guess. Keep breaking line of sight. Keep breaking line of sight. So what do we have now? See, now the problem with it is I was dumb. And I did not save my orbital strike for dropping my baddie. So now, when I do this, I have to, at least I got that last one there, so I got a 69% on it. If I want to get something now, I'll have to kill something. $89. Notice how quickly my front shield faded. versus the one guy I fought in that one match where it was just seemingly endless. "13 kills. 0-0-0, Gearless Joe. Gotta do something, my friend. Gotta do something. Please don't. Okay, I'll give you a break of 4,600 because you're over 500,000. 47. 44. Such low damages sometimes. All right. This is one of those boards when it can be kind of tough to get more than one beacon. Just because the competition for the beacons gets really tight, really fast. Why is he on me? What did I do? Wah, wah, wah. That's me. Wah, wah, wah. Why is everybody always picking on me? Why? Why? I don't understand. Hey! Back up, get a spin going, Ah, didn't get a spin going enough. See, I mean, if you really look at what I'm doing half the time, I'm running away. I'm trying to avoid them because they're getting all brutal. Uh-oh. Down I go. Where are we at? Okay, I guess we're far enough along that I can just go straight to Titan. You wanted that fight, bud. Doesn't seem like it was probably the best idea. Try to see. Oh, there we go. Got myself. Now you'll notice you get it for two. You get a bonus when it turns white and a bonus when it shifts to the color. Because I picked that up when it turned white. I had enough. I was close enough. So sometimes that's why you'll see me. Yeah, I turn it white and I'll get off and I'll go after something else because it stops the counter on their side. I picked up a bonus already and I can come back to it. I do find the movement of this thing a little weird, the way it kind of bounces around. But I like it overall. You know what I found was that I put the Sonics on it, and they work all right and stuff, but the real key to the Sonics is being able to get within like point blank range. You really need that in order to have them chew through things. And this bot hopping around like it does is not really that kind of a bot. 5,600, nothing. Disappointing. 45.92, nothing. Again, disappointing. One beacon. Nothing. I mean, you can't tell me that these people even tried. Can't even begin to tell me that. 43.80 over 700k. Yeah. 53. Really? Dude, do you just suck balls? These people aren't even trying, and you guys, between the two of you, only mustered one kill? Come on! Come on! And you're 5,700? What are you doing? What are you doing? Yeah, y'all, you know, this is why I don't actually say much about what Billy does. Billy likes to joke about the fact that I pick on him because like one time I said one thing, and I didn't even say that I thought it was wrong. I just thought it was, you know, it was possible that he was making a mistake, and he knew it was close enough to be possible that he was making a mistake, which is why he harps on that one all the time. But the reality of it is, look at how I turn people in. I turn people in like constantly because I turn people in because I think they're slackers. And so who am I to say? Who am I to say? Right? Should I do one more? You think I should do one more? I don't know. You know, this is for the mash assists out there that for whatever reason want to see a bunch of these kind of matches. I like people. I like watching people play. This is why I don't actually get into watching. You know, there's some very good players out there, like, what is it, Expert WR and stuff. Holy cow, did I overshoot that? Like Expert WR and stuff. And I don't really watch too much of their stuff. And the primary reason is that they don't really talk too much. They just go out and kick ass, and that's fine. But I don't find that a lot of people can go out and kick ass, right? So I want some personality. I want, you know, might think I'm crazy, but I want some personality. I want some interaction. So busy yapping it up, I didn't get my sequence going. See, technically I like to come in with two beacons, hit the backside of this wall, and then essentially nail anybody that's been trying to get their own beacons. You know, good times. And then if I can, I like to move up another notch and just hold myself against the wall here, because pretty much have to try to figure out how to get around that initially, right? It's not as easily done as said, right? Every time you get close, you start taking a little bit of a whooping. Now I will move to the side here because you see all these people trying to tee off on me. My goal is to try to minimize this number. I'm gonna have to use this. That's just the way it is. I was trying to save my Frederick in case I wanted to. Uh-oh, got a leech on me. I gotta get out of here until. Uh-oh, kind of stuck. Get around the corner again. Look how many people are here. Look how many people are in this corner. What you guys all doing back here? Oh, I know what you're trying to do. You're trying to kill me. That just seems unnecessary, guys. Look at that healing. There goes another one down. There goes another one down. Finally chewed through them a little bit, huh? Now, the interesting thing is that little healer, he's not doing any healing, but he's not taking any damage. Did you see his pulses go off ever? No. You know, I really wish they would fix the cheating, because, you know, the problem with it is you cannot look at, like, the champions or anything else and find yourself not wondering, right? And that's just no good. Look at that heal. Definitely the heal. They definitely did something in the patch. It definitely doesn't have the bump that it once did. Personally, I think that's good. Yeah, you know, when you see a Mender pulse, that's when it's healing. That guy wasn't pulsing, and he wasn't going down at damage. And I don't have the softest touch. Ooh, that was a fast one. You know, part of me wonders if the desire to see me play more games in a row is more of a desire to see me lose than anything else. The desire to see me get my butt kicked. Am I wrong? You notice what I do? I run. And I get that thing built up again. See, as long as people just let me sit back here like this, I'll absolutely do this, because, you know, it's a 4-weapon load that just comes in and all at once. Totally worth it for me. See, and some people like to hate you in that they sit around thinking, oh, you know, you're going to get into some sort of, you know, challenge session with them. No, I'm not at all. I'm going to kill your other teammates. And I'm going to leave you all alone to take on the totality of my team. And that's just all that's going to happen. It's like last night I was watching Tony, and I really appreciated what Tony was doing last night, because he was using his own hanger and just doing the two-mans. And even though his own hanger is beastly, I don't know how the guy got so many ultimate havocs, but he has, like, you know, God, 7 to 10 of them at least. I don't know how he managed to pull that off, but it's impressive. Nonetheless, it was good to see him using the regular hanger, but one of the things he commented about is how he likes, you know, he doesn't like this build because this build can't take on everything, right? And you know, that's where I work a little differently. This is what I was saying before. To me, there's a bit more of a rock, paper, scissors action. I'm not trying to build something that kills everything. I'm trying to build something that kills everything, or most everything of, and then I build something else to deal with that, right? And so I take that slightly different perspective on that. Uh-oh. I'm going to go down because of that. That's fine. Well, he certainly did an amazing amount of damage without taking anything. Yeah. Oh, and we're just getting torn up. And one of the things you'll notice is, where's my team? One guy just finally decided to come out. But we're down 4 beacons and they're just now deciding to move. Alright. Up here. All right. You know, the one thing I'm thinking about is I should put the unstable conduit on here, but I don't know. I think you gotta get used to going without it, because I think the next patch, that thing's, as we know it, should be toast. Should be, right? Oh. What are you shooting at me for? God, people are stupid. Why is my own team shooting at me? Do you not understand? And here's the other thing you'll notice too. I went running over to this beacon. 2 other guys went running over to the beacon. This happens constantly. This is how you end up with 3 or 4 people focused on the wrong target. There is a whole group of people out there that can't go do things on their own. And I mean that absolute seriousness. They're like inherent followers. They're not going to go run off and get the beacon on their own, but if somebody else takes the step to go out there, they'll follow. And they very easily, like fish, get caught just kind of in a cluster, thinking that it acts as some sort of protection too, that if they're with the other people, then they might not be the one that gets killed. And it sounds a little pessimistic, but it's not really. You watch this stuff often enough, you can see it happen like that there. It's, you know, match earlier on, you can turn around and you can look and you can see 3 people sitting up there just stuck. Turn around on this one and there's 2 people following me along, but we have other beacons that need to be picked up. And so I go to the next beacon and they follow, and watch at the beginning of a match once. Watch this little cluster of people run around together. And you'll notice that the more you see that little cluster run around, the more likely you are to lose. If you see 3 or 4 people that constantly feel the need to be around 3 or 4 other people, you're going to lose. Because you cannot get control of the map by sitting in clusters. And it's too much to hope you're going to mech the other team out by railing into them with a cluster. It just rarely works out that way, you know. No, you have to be able to 2-mans. You have to be able to, with 2 people, control a section of the map. I think almost ideally to me, if you were running squads, 3 2-mans would be ideal. I don't think I've ever seen just the shell of the ball rolling around like that before. Alright, there we go. See, now look, they're all clustered back there. As long as they stay clustered back there, they're not going to win. They can't win. Because you can't get any beacons from back there. And I'm not even in a hurry. I don't really care to get in there. It's just a spawn camp at this point. And, you know, it's a very well defended spawn camp. You know, they're not letting anybody kill their spawn. Way to go, guys! See, one guy trying to break out. This is the school of fish mentality, right? Safety in numbers. Yeah, well, there might be safety in numbers, but winning doesn't occur that way. Notice that when I didn't make any rush to get back, well, look at this, 0, 0, 0. That was just so fast. I should report myself. But to be fair, all they did was sit there and guard themselves in the back. Nobody had a chance to do anything. Look at this. Look at this. 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. We went out, we grabbed the beacons, and then the rest was all just them sitting back in the spawn camp. What a waste of time. What a waste of time. But you see it. You see it all the time. That school of fish mentality. Right? Don't let yourself fall into that trap. You know what I wish on these things at the end? I wish there was a tally. I would like to see a tally of the beacons, a tally of the kills, and a total tally of the assists, and a total tally of the damage. I'd love to see those numbers down here. I don't care about the rewards. I don't care about whatever this is. What is this? Is this? I don't know. But I would love to see, so I don't have to always add it up, right? We can just see, oh, there's how many right down there. These 3 numbers, these 4, you don't even have to do this if you don't want, but these 3, I would love to see these 3 numbers just as a tally down at the bottom. It's just like when it comes down to the players, you know, you get all of these ones here, where robots destroyed per battle, titans destroyed per battle, where is beacons captured per battle? Right? Beacons captured per battle in here. That should be in there. You get gold for it. If you're reviewing somebody's thing, it gives you an idea of what kind of activity they are on the field, not just whether or not they did damage or not, but how active they were. It would be nice if they could finally, after all these years, separate damage from healing. So healing and damage aren't in these numbers, but whenever you're looking at your end of match totals, it's in a mush, so you can look like you did more damage to somebody but not rank as high as them, and it's probably because you had more healing, you know, hit the unstable conduit more times and needed more from it. I don't know, but they should fix that. They should split that out so that you can see what you did as far as that goes. You know, that last battle was such a junk battle. Maybe we'll see if we can get one more in here, because I gotta get up and walk around. Wow, Teth. Ooh, this could be a tough battle, because if the other team... Oh, wow. Dude's knocking out with the leech right away, I think. Yeah. This could either be really tough or really fast. But because really tough, I say, because we could end up with comparable opponents, right? Looks like we got a clan over there. Good, we got a guy going back there. Everybody's, well, they were obviously a very skilled group. There's a lot of highly, a lot of nice bots that dropped on our side that time. Trying to get myself spun up. But that didn't help. Oh, excuse me. These kind of battles suck though. I hate spawn camping. I don't consider spawn camping, you know, to be a particular talent, you know. If you're getting living legends while spawn camping, who cares? In all honesty. Who gives a crap? That's not skill. You're spawn camping. That just happens when you spawn camp. I don't really care. You get living legends out in the middle of the battlefield running around, that's a different story. But like right now, they're essentially just trapped back there. I could care less what happens at this point. And at this point, I'm just trying to get back into the game faster. So we'll go with this. Oh yeah. See, and I'm just solo. I ended up with a squad and another squad. Like I said, once I got into spawn camping, I don't even care. That's here's the thing, you know, for years and years, like when I've been in clans and different things, you always end up spawn camping. You end up a lot of times when you're running full clan squads, just crushing the other team and going back and spawn camping. And one thing I've found over the years is that, and my clan can be guilty of this more often than I would like, and that is simply that they're so used to overwhelming by being organized, and by being organized, just being guys who regularly play together, and sometimes on comms, but when you go up against another clan, they fall apart because their tactics are built around being able to overpower a bunch of randos, right? And so when you sit in a clan a lot and you spend your time doing spawn races where you're just racing to the spawn, you can get a lot of points and you can get a lot of wins and you can climb up the ranks, but you're not actually that good. You get caught solo and you get pantsed. You don't do quite as well. You get caught going up against another clan, you get pantsed, or you don't do very well because you're not used to actually working in a meaningfully coordinated way. You're not actually used to having to buckle down and control territory. You're used to spawn camping. And don't get me wrong, you see me do a lot of runs through the spawn. I do it all the time. I like to do it solo. I like to run up there when I get up there and stuff, and this or that. But when you get full clans doing it, Match after match after match after match. You don't build skills, and you get a false sense of achievement. I like soloing because it keeps me humble to a certain extent, because I will always run into things where I get my butt kicked. And let's see, where did we end up at the end? 7770. So technically, if I play just a few more matches, I could be at 7800, and I'll have, see, like right now I've went up over 100 points. So there you go. That's what it takes for me to essentially get 100 points. Not too bad. Not too bad. I like the change to the healing. You have to mix it up. You can't just run one thing anymore. You'll notice the other tests were going down faster too. This is good. Well, it'll be real interesting to see what happens with the next patch. At any rate, take care all.